Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As some of you may know, in the months of March and April, I was in the biggest reading funk ever. I did not want to read. I was not buying books, which y'all know is not like me. Y'all know Shelby loved to buy her a book. I wasn't doing any of that. And then at the end of April, for Independent Bookstore Day, I got some books, and then that kind of like lit a flame under my tail, and I bought a whole bunch more books. So if you'd like to see this really big book haul, stay tuned. Okay, so this is in no particular order. I'm not doing this based off of what store I got it from or anything like that. We're just gonna go through it, okay? So the first books that I got, well, not the first, like I said, not particular order, but the first books that I'm going to talk about are Hamachis Tale and The Prophets. So if you did not know, I am a huge fan of The Handmaid's Tale, this show. And it started back up last week, and it kind of made me realize, like, okay, I want to do a reread. Excuse my dog barking in the background. I want to do a reread. I don't know when I'm going to reread these, but I was thinking about maybe, like, it could be something fun that we can do together, and reading vlogs and all that kind of stuff, if you guys are into the show the way that I am or whatever. So I got these. Next, we have The Deep by River Solomon. This is a novella, which also, if you know me, you know I don't bang with short stories because I feel like as soon as they get good, it's over. But the synopsis of this one, which I'll read to you in a second, was just so intriguing to me that I couldn't leave it. Like, I was like, I'm not leaving that in the store. I have to have that. So it says, Yetu holds the memories for her people. Her people, the Wajiniru, descendants of pregnant African slave women thrown overboard by slave owners, live idyllic lives in the deep. Their past, too painful to be remembered regularly, is forgotten by everyone save one. The memories, harrowing and wonderful, traumatic and terrible, are destroying Yetu, and she flees to the surface, escaping her expectations and responsibilities, and discovers a world the Wajineru left behind long ago. Inspired by the hit song by Clipping, comprised of David Diggs, William Hutsu, and Jonathan Snipes, The Deep will resonate long after the last page is turned. It just sounded so interesting to me, so I had to get that. Next, we have Of Women in Salt by Gabrielle Garcia. I've wanted this book since the moment I saw it, and I finally got it. It is about a Cuban, I can't speak today. Jesus Christ. It's about a Cuban immigrant. Finally. She's determined to learn more about her family history from her mother and makes the snap decision to take in the daughter of a neighbor detained by ICE. Carmen, still wrestling with the trauma of displacement, must process her difficult relationship with her mother while trying to raise a wayward Jeanette. Steadfast in her quest for understanding, Jeanette travels to Cuba to see her grandmother and reckon with secrets of the past destined to erupt. I love a good layered family saga, so to say. And that one's pretty short, so I figured it just sounded super good, and I'm super excited to read that one. Next, we have The Son of Mr Suleiman. Let me tell you something. This is a thickums. She thick, girl. But this is by Eric Jerome Dickey. May he rest well. He passed earlier this year. But as you guys may know, Eric Jerome Dickey is a classic in Black households. If you are my age or a little bit older, your mother probably has all of Eric Jerome Dickey's books, because my mother does, like the original covers. But I personally haven't read many of his books. So when I saw this, I know this is probably the last thing that he wrote before he passed away. I'm sure there are other things that, you know, maybe years from now they'll say, you know, unpublished from Eric Jerome Dickey. But since this is his last book, I wanted to make sure that I had it. And it also sounds really interesting. It's about a Black professor from Memphis and just a romance that he goes through. His father passes away. The struggles of being a Black professor in Trump's America. Just a lot of different things, which I can understand why it's so long. It's almost 600 pages because it's gonna tell like 4 different stories. So I'm looking forward to reading this, but it's big and the page count, it's making me a little nervous. Next we have The End of Men by Christina Sweeney Baird. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. This one is a dystopian about a virus that is only affecting men, and the women have to save the day, which, I mean, we always save the day anyway, so there's that. But this sounded interesting. I was looking for more dystopian type stories, like thriller-ish type things to read, and when I saw this and I read the synopsis, I was like, oh, I have to have that. Next, The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. I already have this book. I know that's what you're going to say. Shelby, you already have this. Why do you have another copy? I bought another copy because there's a Black woman on the cover. You know how I feel about Black women being on the cover. But this is going to be a show that comes out May 14th on Amazon Prime Video. And I'm super looking forward to it. So I plan to actually like fly through this before the show starts so that I can watch it. Next, we have The Man Who Lived Underground by Richard Wright. I plan to read this really soon too. I have not read a Richard Wright book since I was in school, but I did enjoy the books that he had. I'm very curious to read this one. It is about Fred Daniels, a Black man, is picked up by the police after a brutal double murder and tortured until he confesses to a crime he did not commit. After signing a confession, he escapes from custody and flees into the city's sewer system. Talk about foresight. Talk about writing something that is so relevant to today. I'm very, very, very curious about this book. I cannot wait to read it. This will probably be something that I do like a reading vlog for once I get to that. Don't mind me tossing books into the sea of other books. Next we have If I Disappear by Eliza Jane Brazier. I got this because someone said that it was good. It says, Sarah loves true crime podcasts. Shelby does as well. They give her a sense of control in a world where women just like her disappear daily. She's sure they are preparing her for something. So when Rachel, her favorite podcast host, goes missing, Sarah knows it's time to act. Rachel has always taught her to trust her instincts. To begin her search, Sarah follows the clues hidden in the episodes to an isolated ranch outside Rachel's small hometown. She's convinced her investigation will make Rachel proud, but the more Sarah digs into this unfamiliar world, the more off things start to feel, because Rachel is not the first woman to vanish from this ranch, and she won't be the last. That sounded good to me, so I got it. I love a good thriller, and lately that seems to be what's keeping my attention the most. There are books everywhere, y'all. Speaking of thrillers, The Jigsaw Man. I am currently reading this slowly but surely, but this is about a detective who is solving a case. There are body parts that are turning up all over town. and she's gonna solve it. So we'll see what happens. I like it a lot so far. It's kind of long, so it may take me a little while to get through it, but I'll have a review for you guys once I do get through it. We have The Taste of Sugar by Marcel Vera. This is an enthralling saga written in the tradition of great Latin American storytelling. The Taste of Sugar transports readers to the fragrant fincas of Puerto Rico, where beneath the shade of banana and guava trees, coffee berries ripen. It is 1898, and starving people roamed the parched countryside under the yoke of Spanish oppression. The Caribbean island is forced to prepare to wage war with the United States. Sounded interesting to me. And I also have been in the mood for like historical fiction, which is kind of what this book is. So, and I don't think I have many books that are about Puerto Rico or anything like that. So, yeah, I was super excited when I saw this, and it sounds really interesting. Then I have Red Island House by Andrea Lee, or Andrea. So this one says, people do mysterious things when they think they've found paradise. Reflects Shay, the heroine of Red Island House. Stop flickering, light. When Shay, a Black American professor who's always had an adventurous streak, marries Sina, an Italian businessman, she doesn't imagine her life's greatest adventure will carry her far beyond her home in Milan to the idyllic stretch of beach in Madagascar, where Sina builds a flamboyant vacation villa. Before she knows it, Shay has become the somewhat reluctant mistress of a sprawling household caught between her privileged American upbringing and her connection to the continent of her ancestors. This is another book that I've wanted for a while. So I kind of want to make this a book club read, but I'm not sure yet. So we'll see. The next we have here is Poppy Show by Leon Ross. Is that how you pronounce it? I think so. Now, reading Poppy Show made me think of all of my Jamaican friends. And like when you say somebody take you for Poppy Show, it mean like they think you a fool. So that's what anyway. So this one is about everyone in Poppy Show was born with a little something boy, a little something extra. The local name was Cora's Magic, but more than magic. A gift, nah. Yes, from the gods, a thing so inexpressibly your own. Somewhere far away, or maybe right nearby, lies an archipelago. I don't know that word, but it's called Poppy Show. A place stunning beauty and mistress. A place of stunning beauty and mischief, destiny and mystery. It is also a place in need of change. Xavier Red Shoes is the what? So Xavier is anointed by the gods to make each resident one perfect meal when the time is right. Anissa's long-lost love is on a march toward reckoning with her healing powers. The governor's daughter still hasn't come into her magic, but her corrupt father is demanding that Xavier make a feast for her wedding. Meanwhile, graffiti messages from an unknown source are making hard questions. A storm is brewing before the end of the day. This wildly imaginative narrative will take us across the islands, through their history, and into lives of unforgettable characters. Sounds interesting. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't read the synopsis for this one. I bought this solely based off the cover. So we'll see how far that gets me. And then the last two that we have are Arsenic and Adobo. This one, when Leela moves back home to recover from a horrible breakup, her life seems to be following all typical rom-com tropes. She's tasked with saving her Tita Rosie's failing restaurant, and she has to deal with a group of matchmaking aunties who shower her with love and judgment. But when the notoriously nasty food critic, who happens to be her ex-boyfriend, drops dead moments after a confrontation with Leela, her life quickly swerves from a Nora Ephron romp to an Agatha Christie case, with the cops treating her like she's the one and only suspect, and the shady landlord looking to finally kick the family out. Resell the storefront. Leela's left with no choice but to conduct her own investigation, armed with the nosy auntie network, her barista best bud, and her trusted dash hound. Leela takes on this tasty, twisted case and soon finds her own neck on the chopping block. This sounds like it's going to be funny and interesting, so I just had to get this one. And last but certainly not least, we have Liberty by Caitlin Greenidge. I think that's how you say her last name, because obviously I can't read, y'all. Obviously I cannot read. So this is about the critically acclaimed and Whiting Award-winning author of We Love You, Charlie Freeman returns with Liberty, an unforgettable, I can't read, y'all. An unforgettable story about one Black girl's attempt to find a place where she can be fully and only herself. Well, when she finds it, I pray to God she let me know where it's at so I could go there too. Coming of age as a freeborn Black girl in Reconstruction era Brooklyn, Liberty Sampson is all too aware that her purposeful mother, a practicing physician, has a vision for their future together. Liberty is to go to medical school and practice alongside her, but Liberty, drawn more to music than science, feels stifled by her mother's choices and is hungry for something else. Is there really only one way to have an autonomous life? And she is constantly reminded that, unlike her mother, who can pass, Liberty has skin that is too dark. When a young man from Haiti proposes to Liberty and promises she will be his equal on the island, she accepts, only to discover that she still is subordinate to him and all men. As she tries to parse what freedom actually means for a Black woman, Liberty struggles with where she might find it for herself and for generations to come, inspired by the life of one of the first Black female doctors in the United States, and rich with historical detail. Caitlin Greenidge's new and immersive knowledge, blah, 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 blah. Don't that sound good? I want to read this very soon, because it just sounds so interesting. It sounds so good. So yeah, that is my book haul. And that's all the books that I've gotten in the last week and a half. Maybe more like 2 weeks. So if you have any of these and you've read them, let me know how you like them. If you plan to read them, or you want to read them with me, let me know that as well. Before you go, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, girl. You don't tell me that you got to the end of this video and you not subscribed, sister, brother. Get your life in order and hit that subscribe button, and then go ahead and share the video with your people. Okay, boo? Thank you. Love you. Bye, guys.